Hello writers, it's been a while since I last caught up with you. My apologies for that. I don't know how you are at the moment, but since last Tuesday nights, I think it was Tuesday, and staying up late to watch some of the news on the other side of the pond, I haven't really got back into a regular sleep pattern, and I'm not really helping myself tonight, but I just needed a coffee. It's 11 o'clock at night here in England. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. It's been good in so many respects, but it's been a very different manuscript in a month process for me. Very different from the sort of system I've taken part in before, with a structured organisation where I would post my word count onto not so much a leaderboard, but a public board at the end of every evening. Last year, I remember, throughout the month of November, I would do a little short video saying, this is me and it's day 6 or it's day 9 or day 27 and this is my word count for the day. It hasn't worked out like that, and it's a new habit for me to sort of let go of having to be in control of the writing process. I came upstairs a couple of hours ago to record a video, but one of the things I've been doing is sorting through lots of banana boxes of books that I'm giving away to my friend Ed, who has an amazing bookstore, Brockwell Books, in Chesterfield, a market town south of here in South Yorkshire. In fact, no, forgive me, Chesterfield is in Derbyshire, just across the border from South Yorkshire. But anyway, he's going to come and pick up maybe 800 or 900 books that I'm giving away just to make space for another bedroom in the house, so that friends can use it on a regular basis. But that took 2 hours out of my evening just sorting through lots of things. I've kept a little stack of books here, but I've put another couple of hundred aside for Ed to collect fairly soon. But I've also found lots of family photographs from my grandparents' wedding and the arrival of some of my siblings into our home in the 70s. And so it's been nice to look at things. But I've also found a couple of things for my commonplace book, and that includes poetry books that were my mum's, and also some poems that my dad had highlighted in a couple of books that we always had on the shelves in the back room at home, which was where Mum and Dad had a special chair for reading their poetry and keeping their poetry collections, which is very nice. And I've also found quite a lot of Dad's Thomas Hardy books, because he was a big Thomas Hardy fan. And I remember as a kid, we went on some amazing holidays down in Wessex, Devon and Dorset. And I've got very strong, lovely memories of those. So just going through some of the boxes tonight and thinking, I'll keep some of the Thomas Hardy books, I'll keep some of Mum's poetry anthologies, and other books I've put aside for my friend Ed, including some beautiful maps of the Norfolk-Suffolk border, where he and I have a sort of a village in common, where our great-grandparents both lived and grew up at the same time around the First World War. And at Coney Weston and Barningham, we actually have a kind of informal cousinship relationship. So again, it's been nice to look through some very old 1910 and 1920s Ordnance Survey maps and think of some of the journeys that my dad went on to retrace family history there. But that's why you're getting this little one-take video from me tonight, because although I had some amazing B-roll footage to share with you, which I took in Halifax on Sunday, which was yesterday, I haven't been able to share that because it's too late, I'm too tired, and I need to get up early and head off to work for the day. But what I can tell you is that I have made some, I think, fairly decent progress on my word count. Again, I'm not going to go into the absolute detail of the word count. I'll talk about the environment that helped me. But if you remember, I'd got 7 little gold £1 coins in here. So now I've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I think I've miscounted, oh no, 14, and then I've got some 50p coins, 2 of those are £1, 15 and 16, so I'm well over 16,000 words. I'm very happy with that because I've done that in a very short writing time. I think I mentioned in a previous video when I was on Bonfires Night, because that was the Guy Fawkes thing that I was talking about and some of the Yorkshire history associated with Guy Fawkes from the city of York and how he became part of the conspiratorial plot to blow up the House of Lords. But that seems like months ago, and it is only 6 days ago. So I've added, where was I then? I was then at 7,000 and I'm now on 16,000. So I feel like I've done really well. I've added 9,000 words. Most of that was done this weekend, a little bit of writing on the Saturday here in the study at home. But on Sunday, I went again to this new place that I've discovered. It's not new, but it's new for me. The coffee shop at the Square Chapel Arts Centre in Halifax, just off the corner of the Peace Hall, which is a stunning location for anybody if you haven't visited. But there I was able to I went on the train and I printed out beforehand all the work that I have done, plus all the notes that I had made in October. And it's from that work that I've added the other 9,000 words over the course of the weekend. A couple of thousand I had written in little sessions in the library after work last week. But now I feel quite confident that it will be a decent manuscript, decent draft manuscript that will be finished by the end of the month. But I'm really enjoying the process. I've been taking my time to capture those ideas. It was nice to go back to post-it notes and index cards when I was writing this weekend. But it was also lovely just to go on the train. I love writing on the train. It's a very short journey from Bradford to Halifax. 15 minutes is all it takes. But I had my Alpha Smart Neo with me and I was writing as the train pulled out of the station all the way to remembering to get off the train at Halifax and cross the road to go to the Square Chapel Art Centre. But it was brilliant. I was there for about 3 hours. I had something to eat. I had a couple of coffees, but I wrote consistently for 3 hours and also made sense of the notes that I've already written during the course of the week. I added a lot of index card notes, so I've been able to add chapter structure and to work out subsections or component parts of each of the chapters. I think it'll be... No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say how many chapters I think, but of course you and I can have plans to do that sort of thing and then it all goes to pot and it might be less or it might be more. So the chapters don't really matter. And I'm now drinking cold coffee because I made my coffee before I came upstairs. But let me show you the coffee shop, not the coffee shop, the coffee mug. It's a beautiful one. I don't know whether you ever had Ladybird books as a kid, but look at this. These were the primer books for reading and writing for probably primary school or junior school children. But look at this, I love this. On the side it says, Peter writes. Peter likes to write. And in fact, that's how we used to speak as children. Peter writes. Peter likes to write. And then on the front is a picture of Jane, his sister, writing in her little book there. But it's a lovely little item, and I'm really pleased to have it. It was a gift that my mother bought me many moons ago, and it's nice to have it in my study, even though the coffee is cold. It's been a nice evening remembering family events and family people who are no longer here. But that's just one distraction, and we just have to take these things on the chin and allow them into our process as we work through manuscript in a month or rough first draft this month. Because the work that you do, the work that you actually complete this month, needs to be yours and mine, just the two of us here having this conversation, of course, but it needs to be your words on your paper or on the screen that you're working on, and you just capturing your ideas on a day-by-day basis as we work through the month. It is, like I say, it's only the 11th today. There is a long way to go. We've still got almost 20 days to get us to the end of November. And I think the best approach is to say to yourself, look, I've got my notes here, I've got my ideas, and I'm taking those ideas and I'm thinking through the ink into a manuscript that is reasonable, as reasonable as it can be in a 30-day writing challenge. And don't beat yourself up about it. Don't be too hard on yourself. I was very conscious on Sunday that I had my 3 hours in the coffee shop, but I spread everything out on a vast table that could seat, I think, 10 or maybe 12 people. But I had it all to myself. Everybody else was catching up with friends or family and just enjoying the environment and the great music that was present in the cafe. But I was completely focused and I really enjoyed the time. I was as productive in 3 hours there in one little afternoon writing session as I had been on the 2 or 3 evenings after work at the library, where I was maybe writing 500 or 600 words on each of those sessions. But they were in short little blocks of time, 40 minutes, an hour, before I felt tired and needed to go home. At the coffee shop, I felt like I was in the zone, if that's such a thing. But it felt like that. It felt like I was just allowing the content for the book to come out and organising my ideas maybe for the first 30 or 40 minutes, and then just using my MacBook or my AlphaSmart to capture specific ideas, or with my AlphaSmart to capture general ideas, but to do so very quickly. And as I said, I also wrote on the train, which was an added bonus for my little afternoon. I think that's enough now. I can see that I've been talking for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up. I will do probably another video. I took a lot of B-roll throughout the day in Halifax, but I also just let the camera run. This is the phone I'm talking to. It's my Android phone. I let the camera run for a while I was working. So I'm hoping that I can link those 4 or 5 little sections of recorded footage together and have that as just a nice little ASMR, alternative noise. You know, I don't even know what ASMR stands for, but I know it's something to do with audio sensory triggers that we see or we hear and which we can enjoy. But things like the turning of the paper or the harsher noise of the index cards, as I maybe pulled one of those from the pack and unscrewed a fountain pen to write out my notes. But it just felt like a really productive afternoon doing what I love to do, and I hope that you and I can continue with our writing process over this week. It is, like I say, it's just a Monday night. There's another 6 days to go till Sunday evening, when I'm hoping to get another video up for you. But I'm enjoying the process, and I'm very conscious that this year I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying, okay, can I do some writing? Can I add, a little £1 coin to my pot as a trigger to remind me that I've done some work and to make the progress that I want to make? And that's the main thing here, that you and I say to ourselves, well, I want to write a poem over the next couple of days, or maybe I can get a couple of chapters done in the next 3 or 4 days of this working week, and maybe add another few chapters over the weekend. And even then, we will only be scarcely halfway through the month. So be busy, be focused, but don't do it to the extent that your other personal or family or social activity is pushed beyond the fence. No, crack on with things in a way that works for you, that allows you to express yourself in writing and to move not just the words, but your actual manuscript forward as we move through November and confidently see the movement through this particular week. That's enough from me. I'm going to warm up my cold coffee, pop a bit of milk in it, I think, and get off to sleep. But keep the writing going and remember why you are doing it and why this is important to you, so that your rough draft manuscript, your manuscript in a month, is in a place where in another 20 or so days you have it in a really good place that didn't exist a few days ago at the beginning of this actual month. Get on with the process and happy writing. Good night.